So now I want to give you a sense for the life-changing impact a big can make. I want to introduce you to big brother Marc and little brother Zach. And as you listen to their story, I want you to think about what Zach's life would have been like without Marc, and what Marc's life would have been like without Zach. Please give a big night welcome to big brother Marc Mingalelli.
Good evening, everybody, and Wendy, thank you so much for that kind introduction. Tonight, I'm here to tell you about my little brother, Zach Morgan, and what his relationship with me has had in terms of an impact on my life. I was first matched with Zach when I was 24 years old. I was actually just, having graduated college a few years ago and was trying to figure out my life, both personally and professionally. Zach's mother, Janet, realized that Zach needed an ongoing and consistent male influence in his life, and so she applied and was accepted Zach into the Big Brother program. Zach, a 9-year-old Caucasian boy, lived in Needham, Mass, with his mother and his brother. Society had conditioned me to think that why would a town like Needham ever have an association with the big brother, big sister? Well, I came to realize very early on that need does not discriminate by zip code. Right from the start, there were two things that were pretty apparent. Number one, Zach was actually a lot like me. Not as good looking, of course, but like me nonetheless. He loved sports. He thought that SportsCenter was probably the only thing on TV worth watching, hated the Yankees, and just liked to hang out. The other piece that was pretty obvious right away was that I was not going to be that, hey, let me help you with your homework, big brother. We learned that the first time we were together when, after a few hours of unsuccessfully completing a simple math assignment, we walked away, math-wise, very amicably. Then, a year into our relationship, Zach's mother was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer. From that moment onward, both of our lives, particularly Zach's, would be changed forever. By age 14, Zach's mother had passed away. Only a year later, at 15, Zach's father passed away from multiple myeloma cancer. At a young age, Zach had lost both of his parents. He had a limited support network, and I'm proud to say I was one of them. Before Janet had passed away, I had made a promise to her that I would always be a part of Zach's life. And I will admit, it was actually pretty daunting at times. Looking back, I can honestly say that part of the reason I was able to complete my promise to Janet and to Zach is because of the passionate folks, like you folks here tonight in the room, have been supporting the Big Brother all along. So thank you. I think about some of those dark moments. They were probably what you would expect: anger, frustration, some crying. I think about some of the things I had to do in terms of just plain old advocacy, explaining to a parent, a coach, a teacher, a guidance counselor what was really going on. I'd like to think I made a difference. One of the more poignant moments in our relationship, and I think actually speaks to the true essence of really the Big Brother program, happened in this dark period, I like to call it. I am not here by any stretch of the imagination to inflate Zach's ego, but I have to admit, he's actually a very, very good athlete. There, I said it. And at 15, he was by far the best player on his Pop Warner football team. Unfortunately, the team was absolutely terrible. Winless, in fact. Sick of losing, frustrated with everything going on, feeling like the weight of the world was on his shoulders, not surprisingly, Zach wanted to quit football. So, like real men, we did what real men do. We went to Friendly's for an ice cream. Much to Zach's surprise, he thought he'd probably have one of those nice, soft shoulders to lean on that day. Instead, he got a big scoop full of, I'll just say, tough love. Zach needed to understand the consequences of quitting, of really what it means in messaging to his teammates when you're the leader, the best player, and you quit. There was a lot at stake, I think. This was a pattern of behavior I didn't want to set for him. And to be honest, Zach's too talented of a person for me to let him quit. It's actually a lesson he still carries with him today. I joined the Big Brother to make a difference in one boy's life, to be there when they would be needed most. This was that moment. The most important thing at stake was my promise I had made to myself, to Zach, and obviously to his mother. If I let Zach quit, I'd be quitting, and that would haunt the both of us for the rest of our lives. And I'm also very proud to say Zach did a lot more than just not quit. He went on to actually captain his football team, Needham, lacrosse captain, was actually ran and founded a Relay for Life team in high school, and actually is known to be a leader in the classroom and as well as on the field. But I'll admit, this is probably the first time Zach and I have talked about his story, our story. And I think the two reasons are, one is pretty obvious. It's still painful. It is what it is. The main reason, though, is that Zach's unfortunate set of circumstances doesn't define him. It's not a crutch. It's not a crutch for him, for me. It doesn't define any of us. In fact, our relationship that we've built is bigger and better than two unfortunate incidents. And that is something I'm extremely proud of him for. After high school, Zach actually went to Clemson University. Oh, ACC fans, okay, all right. Graduated with a 3.2 GPA, double major, business entrepreneurship, as well as pre-law. And I'll tell you right now, if I was hiring, Zach Morgan would be at the top of my list. Compassionate, smart, intelligent, and battle-tested already with life. One of the more amazing things also about the Big Brother relationship is that it continues to evolve. Zach, now back from school, he gets to hang out in the house more often, and I get to see him really interact more and more with my family. When he's at the house, he is like a kid again. He fights with my 5-year-old over goldfish, plays hide and seek with my 7-year-old, and loses in card games to my 10-year-old. It's great to have him around, although I do miss a lot of the leftovers that seem to be gone every time he visits. He knows the code to my garage, isn't afraid to just pop over. He's always welcome at my house for anything. He really is part of our family. At the end of the day, it's no accident at all that God put Zach in my life and vice versa. I have an amazing sense of pride watching him grow and develop, and I'm more than ever excited to see what the future holds for him. No matter what happens, I know he'll be there for me, and I will continue to be there for him. He's like a son to me. He really is. He's made me a better father and husband, and he reminds me every day of the impact we can all make on those that we love. Thank you. Thank you for giving people like me the opportunity to make a difference in the people like Zach. I've said enough. Zach, I love you, buddy. Come on out here and meet everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words and introduction. I truly appreciate it. It's an absolute honor to be here tonight representing this organization that I've proudly been involved with for 15 years now. My relationship with Marc is so fundamental and engraved in my life that I truly don't know how to capture its impact in just a few words, but I'll certainly do my best. Reflecting on the past 15 years, I'm truly happy my mom had the forethought and instincts to have me enrolled into Big Brother, Big Sister program. It has been a blessing that she brought Marc into my life during the time she did. It's like she could see the future and almost knew the impact that he would have on my life and for the rest of my life. So when we were first matched, Marc and I played sports, talked about friends, girls, family, the typical things the fourth graders are unsure about. I remember thinking how unique our relationship was because he wasn't my blood brother, although we could play sports and hang out and joke around like brothers do. And he wasn't my dad, even though I could ask him about cars and life in general. But he wasn't your typical elementary friend either, because no matter what I needed or when I needed it, he was there. That kind of loyalty and consistency was very important to me during our first couple of years together. There was never a rain check or a last-minute delay. It was constant. He was always there for me. In the beginning years, and still today, Marc has been a role model to me. He's someone for me to look up to. I remember Marc and I driving around one day after football practice playing the song "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel. Marc was doing the air guitar and the air drums and singing every single lyric. It was like we just won the lottery. It was crazy. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, that kind of excitement and just pure happiness, just driving around listening to music that he loved. I looked up to that. I really did. Making the best out of something others find ordinary was something I wanted to be. To this day, I still find Marc's unbelievable ability to look at the glass half full when there's really nothing in the cup to be amazing. Needless to say, I'm a huge Billy Joel fan today. As Marc mentioned, when I got to middle school, my life had changed forever with the loss of both my parents to cancer. I can remember those being some of the toughest times in my life. Luckily, I had an amazing team supporting me. My friends and family were always there for me since day one. No one backed away, and most of all, I had the unconditional love of the Craze, a family that took me into a place that I still call home today. And someone who was there through it all was Marc. I don't know if he really realizes it, but he was one of the only true people I knew that was going to be there with love and support through everything. That kind of trust was crucial in that period of time in my life and really remains important to me today. Sometimes you're really not sure what life's going to give you and what obstacles are going to come your way, but I knew that the Big Brother program gave me someone that would always be there for me, and that's something I'm truly grateful for. So during high school, Marc took upon a new definition of my life. We had evolved to where we identify ourselves not just as a match, but friends. He was my big brother. It was much more than a match, but a lifelong friendship. Having him there for me to ask all those difficult questions was something that helped me form the person I am today. I remember thinking to myself how different my life would have been without having him there for me as a brother, a friend, a mentor, a father figure, and at times a shoulder to cry on. Marc is someone I'll forever look up to. I'll never forget how hard Marc worked to provide for his 3 beautiful daughters and his loving wife, Jen. I wanted to be just like that, and I wanted to do it the right way, just like Marc. So naturally, when I graduated college and we started talking about careers, opportunities, what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, I followed Marc to the letter. Really, no matter what the occasion has been, Marc has always been there to help me. He's been there for me through thick, thin, and everything in between. He never gave up on me, and Marc is a part of my family, and I'm a part of his. I'm so grateful that Marc is in my life because he is someone I'll forever value. Someone I'll always be able to turn to with whatever life has to offer and whatever obstacles come my way. He'll always be there for me, and I will always be there for him. Without Marc's friendship, my path may have been a lot different, and I probably wouldn't be up here with all of you tonight. Now being 22, around the same age Marc was when we first matched, and looking back on it, it's pretty crazy to think of what we've been through over the past 15 years. And I really want to take this time to thank the Big Brother, Big Sister organization. Your dedicated programs give kids like me the chance to meet amazing guys like Marc. Kids who need big brothers who will always be there for them as a friend, a mentor, no matter what happens in their lives. Thank you to this amazing organization for bringing Marc into my life. It has meant so much to me over the years, and I'm truly grateful for that. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great night.